I'm Emmanuel, and I'm going to talk about something I'm actually passionate about, which is psychology and AI. So let's begin with a very important question. What's the most important thing to us as human beings, as Homo sapiens? Science tells us first and foremost it's ourselves, then secondly it's other people because they look like us, self-preservation and all that. So AI aims to replicate human intelligence and what we do, what we are going to do these things for us, do this well and safely. It needs to understand humans. Psychology is the science of understanding humans, so that's how those two fields meet. So we'll begin with a case study from 2025 by Med Central. So this was done on women in the war zone and trying to reduce anxiety. So they developed this chatbot called Friend, and results show a 35% increase in anxiety symptoms for those who use Friend, and those who use traditional therapy a 40 to 45% reduction. So can these things actually help? Can AI actually offer help? Tools like WeBot, Replica, and the French chatbot are actually helping because they're available 24/7. They're accessible in crisis situations. Those women who are in a war zone, scalable solutions for underserved areas. You're not going to ship off psychologists to a war zone, but they also show that you actually still do need humans and empathy and all this a human at the center, which is why the posting therapists did very well. So how does that relationship actually work? So psychology feeding into AI, reading cues, helping people read cues, understanding goals in our conversations, identifying risks and flaws and all these biases before that. Psychology helping AI helping psychology. You will have massive bio behavior data sets. These are humans. You're not just going to do research and tests on humans for most of the psychological studies. And of course AI also helps those tools like the chatbots we've talked about, and all this is just to create a more empathetic, less biased, more effective way of interacting with humans. This is what that framework could be. You have psychology feeding all this into the AI and having all these outputs. So let's blow that up a bit. An advanced model would be like multimodal, where you're feeding it more modalities than just so this is a research from 2022. It was supposed to detect they fed a model all these other things, facial, voice, and it helped improve straight detection by 20%. So this is what multimodal will help with, improve accuracy. And in a consequence, of course, that will enable early interventions. AI could detect subtle changes in behavior or psychological signals before a person even knows them. Personalized support could adapt to who you are. Continuous monitoring, and like my therapist who I see once a week, this thing will be they are periodically observing patterns over time, and that would help the whole experience. Multimodal becoming more intelligent. This is what that model would look like. So all this makes sense, right? Because if we're trying to build these things to be like us and work like us and with us, shouldn't they at least have a simple grasp of how we work, how we feel as humans, and how we stumble? Shouldn't they? Anyway, so of course the worry comes into, oh, would they use my data to manipulate me or discriminate against me? That's the benefit versus the risk of this. This is where ethic comes in. You have to design with ethical considerations at the core. Consent forms, transparency, bias mitigation. This is key because most of these models are biased. This will be the relationship, and then this is the model that would help with that. You have informed consent, all these things feeding into your ethics, AI ethics model. So let's take a scenario. Imagine an AI tutor that's not just reading your mouse clicks like most of the data right now. How this improve education for a student? So without psychology, it's just striking right or wrong answers. You're wrong, you're right there. But with psychology, you have, and people are already doing this, Khan Academy, Duolingo, they're all using reinforcement learning principles to derive from psychology, to identify optimal difficulty, detect when a student's about to give up and change the behavior, space out the learning, and those other things. So what you would get as a consequence is a more personalized, engaging, effective way of learning. Okay, that's what these models would do. So what's our path forward? AI reflects our brilliance, supposed to be like us, work with us, and integrating psychology is key to amplifying the good and mitigating the bad. So design with empathy, prioritize ethics, and audit for bias. My call to action will be let human understanding guide every algorithm we build, because again we are building this for humans, not squirrels, not goats. Thank you. That was my presentation. These are some resources. I did write an article on this on Medium. You can go check it out if you want. Thank you.